Hi there, and welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera, my friends. We could go to Dragogon now, as we have the magmatic amulet. That makes us understand the bloom a little bit better, but really, I mean, we could maybe go to other parts of the bloom.
Sure.
And maybe talk to the bloom even.
Go.
Yeah, let's just try out what happens, eh? Because it seems we can understand the bloom with this thing a lot better, and so maybe there are other places in the bloom that we could see better. The Katina, there's a mole. That was what I was looking for. The maw remains tightly shut. As you approach, the voices of the bloom begin to chitter and hiss in your ears. We'll use the magmatic amulet to find out what the maw wants. 85%, 65%, 65, 65. Do it like that.
I'll remember that.
Placing a hand upon the amulet, you focus on the hissings and chitterings of the bloom, and they resolve themselves into something that feels more like speech but isn't. The sound kindles vague impressions of remorse, regret, guilt. Yes, you realize guilt is what this maw feeds upon. You sense that it can only be satiated by someone who carries a deep and profound sense of remorse for what they have done. But instead we'll cut open the maw with the trans-dimensional scalpel because we don't want to feed people to the bloom. You slice into the raw and glistening flesh of the maw, hacking and tearing. It gives way easily, splitting at the touch of your trans-dimensional blade. The voices of the bloom screech and hiss. The ground shudders beneath your feet, and the maw opens. And I'm now interested about the newborn maw quest. Garkoto is offering a reward to the first person who opens the maw and tells him what lies on the other side. Well, we were just interested in that by ourselves, but
All right.
we'll happily take something, of course. And let's look into that right now. What's this? This looks like... I mean, these doors. That's a vault or something. Hey there.
Remember that.
Marooned on an alien shore. Captain Janur. This careworn woman is dressed in strange and ornate armor. Her bearing is military stiff, and her eyes roam constantly, though the rest of her body is under strict control. She assesses you in a glance. Outworlder. The bloom portal is open. It is good that you spoke to me first. Few Laskers speak your tongue. Officers mainly. She clucks her tongue. We need practice. Welcome to the Anchorage. Scan thought, it is good that the portal has opened again. Perhaps we can recover our missing people. I am Captain Janur. This Anchorage is my command. All you see is under my command. Explore our home if you like, but our traditions, respect them, please. Yeah, about these traditions. And oh yeah, let's calm her down. I met some of your crew in the bloom, by the way. Jemata Arechi and her crew. She presses her hand to her chest and bows her head. Oath, our thanks, Outworlder, from myself and from the crew. Should you see her again, please tell her that the way to the Anchorage is open to her. Scanthol's blessed day. Our people have returned to us. That pinging noise. She looks at you strangely for a moment, as if she had no idea what you spoke, and then comprehension comes. Ah, the signal! For so long have I heard it, I have forgotten. We call for the ship. Perhaps it has become lost. If so, we light a beacon in the void. Tell me more about your people and the traditions we have to respect. We lived here on the Anchorage, as did our ancestors for countless generations. Trapped here, they grew old, intermarried, raised families. Our laws came one by one as we built a new society here in isolation. We are military, Laskers, soldiers, sailors, with hierarchy and strength, all know their place. All have the chance to ascend on merit, no favoritism. My own child is not even a Jemadar. I do not review her records. I could lose my position for such an infraction. He shrugs. All families have such struggles. Scan thoughts. Perhaps we will serve together one day. What a wonder that would be. Such a family are we Laskers. We struggle against time, against memory, as we keep an eye to the sky, always dreaming of escape. Until then we hold tradition of the civilization of home. Are your ancestors the ones who built this place? She shakes her head. I do not think so. We lived here many, many years, but if we build the anchorage, no memories remain. They tell us only that we serve. Perhaps it was built by our people. Perhaps it was always here. We do not know. Scan thoughts. Even the Cortex does not tell us. There are older things than what which we hold dear. What about your society? What are these rules? I lead. As a captain, the anchorage is my command. Marriages, I approve. I lead the rites. To me falls all responsibility for survival, she smiles. Such duties are onerous. I delegate, as captains did before me, so we have pilots, majors, jemadars, and others. They prove themselves through work, rise through ranks. Every 10 years, those of high rank may challenge me for my position. We speak to the Cortex and match our minds. We solve scheduling, mathematical, logistical problems. Should my challenger win, I retire and advise. We cannot survive without cooperation. That sounds like a good system, actually. Somehow, maybe moral problems should be included, right? That would be something like in Star Trek. The dilemmas. That should be something too. But okay, if it's the mathematical cortex. What is that cortex you mentioned? It is a device sacred to us, she says carefully. Her eyes on yours. It is our only connection to our lost home. She folds her arms and adds, we do not allow outworlders to see it. I mean no offense, but do not ask. And why not? Captain General exhales, teeth clenched, and looks up. Fury wavers like a trapped flame behind her eyes. We were not always so protective. That was before other outworlders tried to steal it a few years ago. She holds up her hand. Perhaps you are different. This does not matter. No outworlder will ever be allowed to see the Cortex again. Who were these outworlders who tried to steal the Cortex? Captain General growls, sweeping a hand over her head. Clearly she regrets broaching the topic at all. We were foolish. They came to us through a portal from your world. We welcomed them as guests and showed them the anchorage and the Cortex. Her hand is a fist at her side. One of them put hands on it. His friends attacked us, the anchorage, burning the walls with their fire. Shaking her head, she continues, we killed them, of course, all except the one who touched the Cortex. Him we questioned until he died, screaming a word over and over. She watches your face. The word was Dracogun. Ah. Dracogun. Wow, that guy seems to be involved into more that we can't think of. Not a good man, probably. Tell me more about the anchorage. The void is great and vast, it holds terrors. The anchorage is respite, a place of rest and safety. There were once many ships with many people. They came here, rested, refueled, took on passengers. Passengers traveled to many worlds around many stars, and then they stopped coming. But we remain. Wow. What about the ship? Until the ship appears from the void and comes to take us home, we serve the anchorage, as did generations uncounted before us. Some fear the ship may never come, but we hold our eyes to the heavens in faith. She spreads her hands wide. Until that day, we toil. When the ship comes, and it comes soon, it will find a welcome berth in our anchorage and in our hearts. Wow. How long have you waited for that ship? Generations? As long as necessary, Outworlder. Captain General stops retranslating your words. Apologies. We have waited for many families, many parents, my family, their family, and back many families before them. The Cortex would know, surely, but I do not think we wait much longer. Something in the anchorage's air. It smells of our time here coming to an end. The ship will come soon. Yeah, I don't know if it's the ship or the Scanthol's genius feels the same, and he would know better than any. Can I help you leave the anchorage? Or would you do that? She smiled slightly. We're not searching for any port that will take refugees. We await the ship that will come for us. Our tradition tells us that home has not forgotten us, and that we will one day breathe its air again. Until we can reach home, we will not. Captain Jenner chuckled. Could you summon the ship to us, or create a pathway to our native land? We would depart gladly, but not until then. Oh well, Captain, we'll try that. It would be also an interesting task, of course. A very interesting task. These are the Laskers. Chfonatui. What? Cushion Yigfal. Wow, this is more than futuristic. What is that? This three-dimensional image displays an evolving root-like system, or perhaps an organically growing data structure. And this? This display shows countless suns viewed from a moving point of reference. It plots distances and routes between them at a dizzying speed. Wow, this all looks awesome. And what are these runes? It's probably their writing.
Without doubt.
Oh, that's the command structure, and that's probably the Cortex. Like everything else in the chamber, this device is perfectly polished and clean. Every so often it emits a loud signal that vibrates the whole room. Maybe they are living in a ship, right? They can go themselves. Be very ironic. Let's see.
Of course.
Let's see what we find here. This door is made of some unfamiliar shiny metal. It has been polished to a mirror-like sheen. A magnetic strip of another duller metal has a strange runic script scrawled across its surface. It looks like an instruction regarding the door. On trying the door, you discover the message must be, this door is stuck, or something equivalent. You might be able to force the door open, but it won't be easy. We'll try, of course. Anyone can do it. Well, it's no one. No one can do it. We'll leave the door alone. Maybe if Tibia has recovered.
Something I could do.
There's something in here. These ornate doors are firmly shut. When you get close to them, a voice says something in an alien tongue. You don't understand the word, but they sound suspiciously like a rejection. There's the pilot, Major Genius. We don't recognize him, of course, but there's another man we'd like to speak to, and we do so. Worry stamps its lines on the features of this man. Like the others in the anchorage, he wears a suit of ornate armor, but he has set aside his helmet. His hair is thinning, and wrinkles web around his eyes and across his forehead. He's tinkering with some display, but he turns away from it to address you. Greeting! I'm Genius, pilot major of this anchorage. What do you do here? I serve, Outworlder. I'm the keeper of the navigational Cortex, its servant. I watch the sensors, I listen to its words. Information from antenna arrays filters in here. All knowledge of the anchorage passes the Cortex. If I'll fail in my duties, the ship might arrive without my foreknowledge, so I clean and listen and study. If the ship should come in my life, and I believe it may, it will take its mind in mine, and we will plot a course for home. Scan thoughts, that day will come. I know it. I will be remembered as a hero. I found this Lasker helm here in the bloom. Does that helm belong to Jem'Hadar Achille? He snatches it from your hands and studies it carefully. Void, take it. I hope she still survived. His accent grows thicker with emotion. Please, show to Jenna. Find out what Achille discovered. Make life count. Scan thoughts, another dead. And Achille, she was No, I must not fall into despair. I must hope. What is the Cortex, as you're the one caring for it? What is the Cortex? He opens his mouth and shuts it quickly. I almost speak too fast. It is our watcher of the void. It is the keeper of our history. It knows the night skies of 1,000,000 worlds. It holds our traditions and tells us how to live in accordance with old crews. It keeps us alive, maintains the anchorage. He bows his head in reverence. It alone is the voice of truth. Never has it been wrong. Scan thoughts. Without it, we would forget ourselves, becoming even more lost than we already are. Goddess Teague asks, it truly does all of that? Eyebrows rising. Remarkable. Genius bows his head again with a small and perfect smile. What about the ship? It was promised of old. It will carry us home. He smiles. It's perhaps ridiculous for Outworlders to understand. So many crews have passed on so many lives ago. Yet still we believe. Some question whether it comes. Many have died before its arrival. Yet still we believe. What is life without belief? Why do we keep on with routines and rituals if not for belief that someday we will go home? And thoughts, the ship will come, it must. I will be the one to see it. What about your anchorage here? The anchorage is many things to us, he says, his brow wrinkling. A home, a reminder of who we once were, and a promise, not a prophecy, no. He trails off, clicking his tongue, then brightens. Can show you the anchorage instead of just telling you about it. And give you a tour, yes? Yeah, go for that tour. Now, Genius says, looking alarmed, would be happy to, but many tasks. He flushes as his grasp of your language abandons him in his embarrassment. Not now, he mumbles, looking away, but soon, very soon. Please return later. Okay, then tell me about your people. Genius wipes a cloth across a clear glass eye and glances at you. You have spoken with some, yes? We have lived here long. Many captains past we discovered we would have to wait for the ship to come. Until that time, until the arrival, we survive and wait, and we train. Okay. Farewell, Outworlder. And see you soon, my friends. Until the next episode. Have a great time until then, and happy gaming to you. We'll see each other soon and continue to explore this strange spaceship in the bloom. It's good to have you here.